That was... God damn it. Alright, now that we've wasted our perfect beer opening.
Golden opening.
Welcome to the second episode of Work in Progress, the show which honestly ends up getting more off topic, it seems, than it ever actually talks about anything that's in progress, which is fine.
After the results of our first episode.
Yeah, you know,
Our lives are in progress.
Our highly successful first episode.
No, Ian, that's the underlying
lives
concept.
Downloaded a million times.
This is the work in progress is initially about our projects, but really it's about our lives.
It's about us.
We should probably do the introductions again.
It's about being drunk.
Oh shit, yeah, that's right. Real quick, you don't have to go into depth, but just for people who may have skipped the first episode who don't remember shit, on my left we have moved seats, but the voices are still the same. We have
Andrew,
Ian,
Brandon, Mitch,
Jake, back in the center.
And
my introduction was totally the best one.
Yours was great. It was certainly the gayest.
Well, I clarified on the last podcast that I was in no way homosexual.
And you reinforced that by going, Andrew!
Well, no. Once you put it out there, it's okay to act gay because everyone knows you're not.
Is that how that works?
You, the audience, have to know that when he said his name, he did jazz hands.
It's okay, man.
So
I've already told the internet that I'm straight.
No homo.
Because that's how that works.
No homo, but you got a nice dick.
No homo, but damn.
So as far as you, the listener, know, it has been maybe a week, maybe literally 5 minutes.
Maybe 10 years.
Maybe 10 years, who knows?
Maybe this is the first time.
Who
It's been a week for
knows?
me.
But not the last.
But for us, we really quick just took a break. We're going to record again. So it's the same day, same hour, essentially. We are all back. We are all the same. We are all slightly inebriated, I assume.
I had
or
to pee.
Ian is going to be.
Channel.
Andrew, I think, might be
I
sober
had to
because
pee.
he's been
Same
drinking his
bat
Powerade.
time.
Yeah, I'm totally sober.
Several people
I'm
here had
just
to
here to
pee.
keep the in-jokes going.
That's totally fine.
That was good.
Is that good?
But you might have noticed that we
It's
did.
like a knockoff, Captain.
What is it?
It's Calypso rum. It's got like a little
Plug for
pirate
Calypso.
lady on there.
It's got the woman on
She's-
it.
What is a
you know,
pirate
she's got
lady?
little legs showing
That's a pirate lady.
on the bottle.
Look at that pirate.
Pirate
And,
lady.
you know, that's
with
just what enticed me.
huge cracks of
Not the
wine.
fact that this was
She's got a
like
big
half as
personality.
much as
She
Captain
does.
Morgan.
Two big personalities,
I'd buy it.
in fact.
I did. I did buy it. And man, it's almost gone.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just water it down and make it last.
That's okay,
if I
because
can-
honestly, that will probably get you drunk.
Oh, I'm going for it. We'll
You're
see.
gonna drink it
I'm
straight?
Yeah.
Ian, I challenge you to drink half a beer, fill the beer can with rum, and drink that.
That
sounds
is
awful.
just-
No.
I will give you $20.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Give me the beer.
Money on the table.
At $10.
Now that he's so
No,
anxious.
it's not
yes.
even that. It's
Now
that.
that he's
No.
got the oomph of
It's
the
not
vibe.
even that. It's that I thought about my bank account. I was like, I can't afford $20. I can do 10 though. I can do
No,
10.
that's alright. I'll drink another.
I don't have $20 in the budget for ridiculous fucking bets.
No, exactly. I wish I did. I wish I did.
do have that.
But you know what? I can fudge $10.
It's this little
10 is
slice of
fine.
the pie chart.
Exactly.
I mean, $10. That's like an hour and a half of work.
Exactly. I could do that.
And it's like, this is paying for his
It's-
one weird thing where you drink
It's
beer
one
and rum.
fucking
It's
thing.
The one shtick of the show.
Shit, what was I
Getting
talking
him
about?
drunk.
Getting Ian drunk. That's all I was talking
Well, if we
about.
need a jumping
Oh.
off point, we can always have Mitch talk about his life.
No,
Mitch, talk about your life.
wait, that reminds me. You may have noticed.
Did
the
I
last
tell you my
episode-
sister's in Florida?
Oh,
No.
My sister's in Florida.
you may have noticed the last episode we didn't get to Mitch's or wait, was it yours? Yeah, it was yours and mine.
Yeah, that's
our project, which is fine. We'll get to that
That's fine.
at
I
some
got
point
like
in
8
this
going
episode.
There will be time.
But in the meantime, what were you about to talk about before we
Oh,
did
so we were all talking about restaurant bathroom stories. So
Yes.
So for the crowd at home, and well, I guess for a couple people here,
Yep.
For those playing the home
I
game,
worked about a year and a half at a store called Oberweis, which is an ice cream and dairy store, mostly in St. Louis, maybe other places, but it's just an ice cream store.
Who fucking knows?
And because it's an ice cream store, our ice cream is super expensive.
Wait. Don't you also sell
Sure.
like meats? Though?
We actually have a couple
ice
fridges.
cream and
Our main
like
thing is we
dairy
sell
meat?
like ice cream and milk,
Cow meat.
but then we
Deli
have
meat.
like
Ah.
a refrigerated section where we sell like bacon and eggs.
Well,
Yes.
sure.
Maybe like 1 out of every 7 people will be
And
like,
you got like a rack
"Oh,
for candy
hey, bacon."
bars, condoms, and
You're basically Walmart.
You don't
at that
talk-
point.
you're a gas
Yeah.
station with ice cream.
Yeah.
But our main focus is the ice cream. So anyway, we've been talking about weird bathroom stories. So there's maybe like 3 of us working there that day. I'm working somehow both register and kitchen. So I take the order, I go in the back, I'm making all these crazy ice cream contractions, give it to the family, and go back to the register being like, nah, I wish the night was over. About 10 minutes later, this mother comes up to me and she goes, hey, you. I said,
Whoa.
Yes, ma'am. And she just goes, look, my daughter spilled her ice cream cone in the bathroom. I need you, 1, to clean it up so my other daughter can go to the bathroom, and 2, get her a new ice cream cone. And the only thought going through my head is, why didn't you bring your ice cream cone into the bathroom with you?
That's actually a really good
But
question.
it wasn't
second
ice
thought-
cream.
It wasn't. It looks like ice cream.
Rocky Road. Oh.
But what do you do when you have ice cream and you need to go in the bathroom?
You give it to your mother.
Yeah.
Who's
especially
not
if you're a
going to
kid.
the bathroom
It's not
with
like
you.
you're sitting on the toilet like, I'm doing my business.
Wait,
Look
you
at my
guys-
ice cream.
There's
Wait,
that
wait.
episode of The League where Pete invents the toilet.
Okay.
I remember
I
that.
saw that. and it's
For this
so
purpose.
good.
It's actually very
For those
clever.
who don't watch the show, he like cubbies in kindergarten, you'd stick your shoes in during
It's
nap time.
still
or whatever.
smart.
He just sticks one of those outside the bathroom. So if you have like a food or an iPad or something that you don't want to take with you into the gross realm of the
A
bathroom,
food,
a
a
small
gun.
animal.
you stick it into the cubby.
I
The
need that.
problem,
Wow.
of course, being
All right.
you're leaving
Well,
this shit
that's-
just out in the
that's-
open where anyone
it's
walking
gonna
past the
pick up
bathroom can take
awesome.
it. But that's
Okay.
not really the point, I
Sorry.
suppose.
Honest
Right.
system. Honest
Either way, no, you don't want to take food in the bathroom.
So I
That's
end up
weird.
I end up
I had a
asking
drink
my
one time, I was
manager
like, what
about
do I
this, and
do?
she goes, I guess you gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, fine. You're making the ice cream.
It's like, but I'm not a genie, and I don't grant any wishes.
The weird part was, though, I ended up giving the girl, like, birthday cake ice cream.
Uh-huh.
So in our store, it's this bright blue color.
Yeah.
No.
So I walk into the stall, and, I walk into the restroom,
Looks
and
like
there's the stall.
Mystique took a dump.
Kind of. It looks all fine, and then you just see this big hunk of blue.
Is it like in the
Just
toilet?
melt. It's not in the toilet. It's like right in front of the toilet.
What? Oh, like she was
Like she
about to
missed.
sit and was just like, well.
She was moving like
Like she was like aiming, missed, and went, oh shit. And
Wait.
moved 2
Girls
feet
can't
over.
aim though.
Exactly.
So wait, was she trying to pee standing up?
I don't.
Because that's
I
admirable.
wasn't there.
Like,
How
if a-
old was this child?
The girl was about 10.
About 10.
So maybe she was trying. She was like, I can do this. I don't need to sit down. And she was like trying to like aim that shit, which is honestly admirable.
Now, when I say
because-
aim that shit, I'm talking again with the Mystique metaphor.
Oh well, all
Aim
right.
that shit.
Like, pretend it wasn't ice cream.
Uh-huh.
So either way, though, that's the end of the story.
Ew.
I thought it was weird.
ice cream in
someone-
the
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ultimately,
Yeah, no
it's-
offense, but Ian's got you beat on that one.
No, but like ultimately,
Ian's got us beat on most
stole
of us
my
with that
ice
stuff.
but it's
That's
weird.
ice
that
He
someone-
stole my ice
He
cream!
stole the ice cream dispenser.
Well, to
Wait,
be
that's
fair,
the
you gave
wrong-
him some pretty shitty.
We're ruined!
It's true, apparently. Some shitty
So,
meatball subs.
I will tell you
man.
the funniest story that happened, though, at that ice cream place.
What?
I'm in the line. I'm at register again,
Uh-huh.
and we have, of course, like every restaurant nowadays, we have rewards cards.
No, it did.
So
Yeah,
a person
we have
comes up to
It's
me,
important.
and
Loyalty.
this guy comes up. He's like,
Loyalty.
"Can you tell me about the rewards cards?" We're like, "Absolutely.
Fuck
This
no, I
and this
can't.
and this and this." Even though in my head I'm going, "This is stupid." And my friend Victoria, who's kind of the reason I got the job, walks up to me. She like comes up to me, whispers in my ear as I'm talking to the guy. She goes, "You know that woman who you just answered to?" And I was like, "Yeah, at the register." She goes, "That woman's boobs were so weird." What the fuck? Now the best part was I'm still talking to the guy, but I don't register it
Wait.
right away.
So wait. It's like you just said that like in a loud like stage whisper. Did she say it?
That
in
was
that
her.
volume?
No. Like she's got her like
She
hands
was
enclosed around my
discreet.
ears.
She was-
She
Oh,
was
like-
discreet, like around my ear.
Okay,
So the
okay.
guy doesn't hear it, but I'm still talking to the guy, so I don't process what I've heard
Until
for a second ago.
Yeah.
So like I'm going. So this is basically how I go. She's whispering, and I'm like, "So anyway, sir, you get a reward point for every time you." and the guy's a great sport. He's just going, "What's going on?" And
Yeah, rewards aren't funny.
they're so
And so
funny.
finally, I take a breather. I'm like, "I'm sorry, sir. She will continue to help you." I go in the back, and the guy hears this as far as he's concerned. The girl is like, "So anyway, rewards point." He hears me in the back go,
So,
Oh no, the Green Goblin's back!
I have to know, were the boobs weird?
So this is the best way I can explain it.
Oh man, I'm stoked. I'm
Do
so
we
pumped.
need like a diagram? Like,
Do we need to get you paper?
Yeah, for the people on the podcast.
Fuck it. I mean,
So
This is a joke only for us.
as I saw, I saw it, but I didn't really think about it until she whispered it to me. If this girl was in, for example, a wet T-shirt contest, she would have won 2nd and 5th place at the same time.
Oh, that's rough.
One was here, one was a couple feet lower.
And okay, I get
was
it.
buffering.
It was buffering.
It was buffering in our newspeak.
Well, all right.
That's
So about 3rd and a half place. That's not so bad.
on average. I mean,
Because that's how, ribbons work.
ultimately,
It's like
I'm-
platform 9 3/4.
If you add a bronze ribbon and a... What would you call this? Oh, that's puce. It doesn't add up to a silver and a half ribbon.
No. I have two things. Ultimately, a boob is a boob. I don't care who you are.
This is true.
A boob is a boob is a
It
boob
is
a
awkward,
boob.
though,
Exactly.
when
The
one
classic
is nothing
Dr.
like
Seuss
the
book.
other.
Exactly, but you still want to see it. You're still like, I kind of
Well,
want to see
yeah.
So you'll see.
But
Oh,
you
the
never,
boob,
you
show
never
me.
want to look at a woman, see her rack beneath her shirt, and
Or
go,
a man.
one of these things is not like the other.
Somebody stole your left breast.
Okay.
And that's the moral of today's episode, kids.
It's like an empty wallet.
Ew.
Process.
So
beautiful.
First is ultimately you want to see a boob. It's a boob.
Right.
Secondly, I refuse to believe that. Admittedly, I haven't done this since I was like 10, and it
Like
was
where this is
only
going.
because I was ravenous. I hadn't eaten in like a day and a half.
I ate a whole boob.
No. I cannot be the only person who has ever eaten a snack on the toilet.
Well,
Absolutely have not.
Never ever.
Have not, would
Like
not.
you kept a tally.
Here's another.
Have not, would
here's
not
another
on a
ponderance, though. Here's another
Ponder.
ponderance.
Riddle me this.
Would you ever eat while jacking it?
Yes.
Jake on the quick
okay,
answer.
wait.
It's two of my favorite things. Why would I not do it?
But the thing is, I eat sandwiches with my right hand.
So just use the
So,
You couldn't just fucking wing it?
I mean,
so am I
Are you
jacking it?
incapable of holding a sandwich in your left hand? Or more importantly, if you were doing it this way, would you pick up the sandwich, take a bite, set it down, and then hand back in pants for a minute?
which I maintain is disgusting.
Yeah, because then it's like you're basically eating your own dick.
It's not even
Why,
that.
it's just a stone's throw away.
You
Damn,
are
tastes funny.
just a tiny little thing away from just eating your
One
own
bad
cum.
Wait.
God.
Let's go around the table. All right,
Oh,
Andrew,
God.
eating it while jacking.
I love
Yes or
the
no?
imagery.
I have done it, but I don't condone it.
All right.
It
Wait,
felt
wait,
weird.
It's more like
What was the
wait.
food?
No. Hold on.
What was the food?
It could be-
What-
I don't
no,
remember.
no.
It was probably just a fucking hot pocket or something.
What the hell, man? That's hot and near your dick. Why would you do
You
that?
said it's near my
Your hand is whatever. All right, no.
dick. One
Ready?
hand on dick,
No.
other hand on pocket.
Still though, Ian. Yes or no?
Technically, if you eat anything,
God, I
it's
hope
near
my
your
mom doesn't
dick.
listen to this.
Well, that's fair.
I don't
Just
think
don't-
I've
as you
ever
can see
eaten at
from
the
my
same
charts.
time, but I'm pretty sure I've been eating something, and it's segued.
You're like, man, this
And it's
sandwich
like,
is.
man, I
Oh,
love
hello,
the
boner.
sandwich.
Just
This
oh,
breadstick
oh
feels
my
so
God.
good in my hand.
It's like suddenly, like all the food commercials make sense. You're
like all
oh
those
my
images
God.
of what may as well be a dick spurting
This
cheese.
zesty.
I
dressing.
can have it my way.
Brandon, yes or no?
No, but the eating on the toilet, yeah.
You done that? All right,
Yeah.
all right, awesome. I'm not alone.
Cookies. Cookies.
I've drank soda
You
Let's
drank
be clear.
soda on the toilet?
to
Or-
both on the toilet and jacking it
Oh,
because I'm a
okay.
sodaholic.
That's fair.
I could
Okay.
see drinking on the toilet.
I can see drinking, yeah.
Wait. Non-alcoholic or alcoholic? Because I've only done alcoholic.
I've
Both.
done both.
Either?
Both.
The worst
If you're
part
just
is
fucking thirsty and you've got you've
Drinks
got a
don't count.
faucet right
No.
next to you, you might as well just.
I've done that, yeah.
Drinks
No,
don't
no.
I'm
count.
getting pretty dehydrated, shitting out all my fluids.
this is
Yeah.
actually really relevant
Yeah.
because the reason or
Relevant
not
to the podcast
No,
or the
relevant to the
science?
conversation. It wasn't not the reason. The moment I realized that I may or may not have a problem
minutes in.
with my alcoholic drinking was when I had the beer shits on the toilet
Yeah.
and I was drinking a beer.
Yeah.
I woke up, went to the bath because it was after one of our parties.
This is
at the
like
apartment.
3 hours away from me.
Exactly. No. It was after one of our like huge parties at the apartment,
Yeah.
and the morning after, I went to the bathroom. I was like, "Oh, I feel terrible. Better drink a beer." And I literally took a drink, and I was like, "I realized the problem I have."
This is the reason I'm doing this right now. I'm drinking to forget my beer shit.
Exactly.
The
You
irony!
know what happens next?
Oh God.
More beer shit.
Oh my God. I am the enemy
And
of
so I
myself.
checked myself into rehab that very day.
Going, I'm sorry, I
me
thought
from the
this
beer
was the
shit.
library.
Just as I drink my fucking beer.
Beer shit is anonymous.
Beer shits.
I fucking. Oh my God.
I did go on a float
Work in
trip
progress.
one time where I came back from like
Work
the
in
quarter
progress.
shower,
Yep.
and my friend just goes, "Did you take your beer into the shower with you?" I said, "Yeah," and she paused and goes, "How was it?" I said, "Phenomenal."
Yep.
Nothing wrong with a shower.
And she
Shower
goes,
beers are the
"Hold on,"
best.
and grabbed one in her hand.
Dude, the
Somehow.
shower is a whole different realm because whatever happens in there, you're getting clean.
All
You
I
can
know
practically
was-
take a shit in the shower and it's still
Oh, yeah.
mildly
Yeah,
acceptable.
ultimately, you can wash it down the drain.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have a stamp
Or
on it a
shit,
little bit.
even if you don't
Stomp
want to
it
do that,
down
you
the
can like
drain.
pick it up, throw it in the toilet, wash your hands, boom.
There are people. Okay.
Wow.
Not that I
You
would
know-
do that, but I've heard about it.
No. Here's the fucking
I
thing
thought
that
you
weirds
were
me
gonna
out.
say
is there are
fine.
people in
Poop
Afghanistan.
People, no. People
Can't
will.
afford that.
Like, I swear to God, I've seen it on the internet. Of course, people
course.
have talked about how they will be in the shower and they will shit in their hand and throw it into the toilet.
This
Like
is a
monkey
4
style?
isn't it?
What
hear this
style?
shit-
Monkey style.
Are there
Yes,
different,
it
like,
may or may not have been from that
styles?
fucking website. And then they will bend over and spread their butt cheeks and not
Okay.
and just let the water wash it like a bidet.
Okay.
You don't have
And
to
they
wipe.
and they like it
Like a
because they get
bidet?
to see the water be brown. Like they get to watch themselves
Okay.
be cleansed
I
of
think
all
if
their
there's a
shit.
part of you that enjoys watching you know the water you bathe yourself in turn poop brown, literally because of poop.
But when you shower,
I feel like you have a cleanliness issue. Especially, I mean, the very idea of hurling poop, whether it be into a toilet or anywhere. I mean, I that crosses a line
We're
that I dare
practically,
not
we're
cross.
practically devolving at that
I
point.
May as well
know.
be animals. I mean,
And at least
That's
you're
what
better than a
monkeys
monkey,
do.
and you have the decency to throw it into
That's
like
why
some
we're as
sort of
close
poop
to them as we
receptacle.
are.
A
Yeah.
monkey would poop into its hand and throw it at a human child.
I mean, at least you're not doing that. But you know, 4chan.
I've seen it happen.
Have you been to the zoo?
if you're gonna do it though, you're in the shower. You have soap. You have running water, constantly refreshing.
If
Yeah.
you
you're
have
gonna
it
do
right
it,
there.
you should do it in the shower.
that's fair.
If you have to, if you
I will
have
buy
to throw
that.
your poo,
So can you
and
imagine?
you
go.
must poop into your hand.
Can you imagine that inevitable? You know, you're in the midst. The poop is in your hand, and there's that little knock. Like, are you all right in there?
And you're like, oh.
I need to take a shower before I go to work, and you're like, okay. Give me just like 5 minutes.
And they're like, he's totally jacking it when actually you're pooping in
But
your hand.
really, you're
Jacking it would be
poop
less
hurling.
shameful.
Exactly.
Like,
It's like, oh, I'm just jacking
I
it.
wish that if you stormed in here right now, you would just see me clutching my erect cock.
One of the
that,
few.
that would be better than this.
One of
No,
the very
in fact-
few instances
in
where
fact,
jacking
poop.
it is less shameful.
One of the
Exactly.
few. It's like
One of
10
the very
things.
few.
Have you guys ever
What are
ever
the other nine?
have you guys ever caught yourself
Killing a man.
like caught yourself in a reflection of anything, like mid jacking it? Because I don't know about you, but I kind of look like an angry monkey.
I would never look at myself
no,
while
no, like on
masturbating.
accident.
Wait, no, okay.
No, see, that's why I don't own a mirror.
I
No,
got
no,
this.
like even your computer screen.
I got
like
the
say
perfect
there's like a black
anecdote.
screen, and you suddenly see yourself
I,
like, oh.
I'm like watching some porn and then my computer just shuts down, so suddenly I'm just staring into
Yeah,
my masturbating
yeah.
eyes.
This is
No.
exactly what's been. You notice when I said before, the monitor of my laptop keeps fucking.
This is
shutting
your
off.
life right now.
Oh my God,
My
yes.
life. I was there, you know, jacking it. I'm in the midst of my business, and suddenly the screen goes blank, and there's my face. and I'm like, you know, I'm focused.
Oh my god, this
I'm
is
running
what I
the
am.
mile.
Oh my god.
And I see myself as a level, you know.
Suddenly,
In
the
the
hard-on
nighttime.
got better.
Oh, somehow I just
No,
I
no,
kept
no,
going.
no.
He looks good.
And it's like, no, get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'm glad
Shut the laptop.
Shut
Like,
the laptop.
I'm with you.
I'm going to Imagination Road for the rest of the drive. Like, I don't need to see
That's
myself
beautiful.
during this action. It's like when these
beautiful.
crimes you can't dare admit that you commit.
We
This
have
was
gotten
clean.
so far off of any type
We
of
never
topic.
were
At
on
least we
topic
didn't
with
touch
this.
on
exactly.
anti-Semitism this time.
No,
So, I
you
mean,
brought it up. Just, damn
that's
it,
another thing.
Oh!
That's another thing that masturbation is less shameful than being anti-Semitic.
Oh.
I would rather see someone
I'm not worried about this table. So.
see me jacking it as opposed to talking shit about juice. I'm gonna get some paper towels.
Did you
All
say
right, that's fine.
juice or Jews?
Juice.
What do you
Juice.
think he said?
I don't know.
All right, so let's
The
draw
orange
some
juice.
Let's
The
draw
orange
some
juice.
focus into this shit that is dripping onto the floor, and I can feel it splashing on
Yeah.
my foot.
Everywhere.
All right,
It's
so
dripping
Now
on
the
my
that's
foot.
okay though because this is literally just plastic and metal,
And we are in a basement, an
Yes.
unfinished basement.
which is good.
You mean the mansion?
So anyway, let's
Jake's mansion.
draw some focus here. Let's bring it to the fucking center.
Get it together,
This
bring
episode.
it back to me.
Mitchell, let's start with you. What are you doing? What are you about to do? What are some projects rattling around in your head?
Okay.
Plug this shit out of yourself.
I'm currently. I actually went in today to work on this, and I have a story. If you didn't see my Facebook status,
I did
about
not actually. I don't know Facebook like
I didn't either.
this. That's fine.
You didn't either.
So I've been hired by one of my schools that I student taught at. I've been
So wait, clarify, Mitch. What do you do? For the people at home, what do you do?
Well,
Because you've alluded to it, but you haven't.
I've done. That's weird. I'm currently a substitute teacher for the. I'm currently a substitute teacher.
And you have a degree, right?
I do have my degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't be. Otherwise, I'd have to pay an extra $50 to use that.
Yeah.
With my degree. I'm currently a substitute teacher that does odd job theater things, mostly backstage related around town. I'm actually finally getting paid for some of these theater odd jobs, which is amazing.
Oh snap!
The one I'm going to talk about is I'm currently building this set for one of my schools that I student taught at. They're doing Fiddler on the Roof, which my teacher did not want to do, which I find fantastic because we've mentioned, I believe, in our first episode about our friend Chris. Both me and Chris shared this teacher as our student teacher. We are all very much alike. She didn't want to do it because everywhere does it. And mostly importantly, she didn't believe we have the guys to do the role. Which I didn't have enough guys for it. But all of her other cooperating teachers said, we're going to do it, we're going to do it, it's going to be awesome, we'll get you the people. She kept on saying, if you bring me the people, we'll make it happen. So somehow they ended up getting the people. So I'm now building the set for Fiddler on the Roof. So she basically said, look, I'll give you this much, come in when you can, as long as the set gets done, I can actually give you this. And I was like, dude, all right. So today I actually came in because I've been busy last week and all that because I finally became a substitute teacher. They all said, look, I'm going to come in today. I'm not subbing today. I'm going to build. Is that all right? And she said, yeah, I actually have a student that you can use as an extra set of hands.
I actually have a student slave.
Basically,
One that you can use.
what is it? A student mentor?
discretion.
It's a student mentor?
So
Meaning
it's like a TA, except not a TA.
Exactly.
An SM.
They get like half a credit for basically being like.
Where's the BD? I don't understand.
So when she told me that, I was like, why? What does he do? And she was, normally he grades papers or he sits in my office and watches Netflix.
He can also juggle.
He can't even juggle! He
What
can't
a
even
dick!
juggle!
What a useless dick!
Is anyone at this table capable of juggling?
I can half juggle.
I'm about halfway through. By the end of the year, I will be able to.
I can imagine myself juggling in my head.
As
I'm doing it right now.
But Ian, that's different than
As
actually
can the rest
doing
of the
it.
world.
Like,
I
you can-
figured that's as close as I could get.
Okay.
So maybe I should mention
Well,
that.
Brandon, can
It's
you?
a difficult
Right.
skill.
I
It
will
is.
say yes.
You can.
Sure.
I can juggle with scarves.
What can you
Is
juggle?
it Justin? I think Justin can juggle.
Justin can juggle.
Like-
Chris can also juggle.
Like
Chris
2
can,
balls.
Yeah. 2
I
balls.
think I was
Like,
thinking of
that's
Chris.
not juggling. Like
That's not
for
juggling.
me, juggling is 3 or more objects.
Fine, I can do 3 for about like 10 seconds.
Okay, see, that's probably more than I can do.
Like
Andrew,
oh
that's
God.
one item.
God.
You're
Just-
juggling.
Andrew, you're
a
just
bottle of
juggling a
water.
single Fiji
That's
bottle.
Just what are you doing?
It's not like they're seeing you do this. either.
Andrew, you're drunk. You're drunk. Go
And
on.
you fucked up the one model.
I'm
All right.
juggling so hard!
No, you're not. All right.
So anyway,
continue.
so I went in today. I ended up meeting this student slave.
Student slave.
SL.
The SS.
SS. I can't spell.
Stony Curtis.
Are we back to the anti-Semitism?
Every goddamn time.
there.
This is Fiddler
Hey,
on the Roof.
No.
I'm not the one talking about working with the SS, Mitch.
No, Andrew, no.
That's
Stop.
not me.
Andrew,
Stop.
no.
I ain't that guy.
It's my podcast personality. Anyway,
So you're working with the students.
so I'm working with the student
This
slate.
fucking guy.
We're actually getting some stuff done. We're given my cooperating teacher basically says we have a saw that you can use. I was like, oh, good.
Rad.
So I went in the back. It's the wrong kind of saw that I needed.
Did you need to see?
I needed a chop saw. I was given a table saw.
Oh.
So basically, I was given a saw. I was like, awesome. This is not going to help me do anything. And plus, it's a really old saw, so it has rust all over
Stick
it.
your
So
fingers in it.
if
The
I
teeth
ever
are
want to do
dull and shit.
anything with,
There's like no teeth on it at all.
thank you for helping the metaphor.
Is it just gum the wood?
It's literally just
It's
like
just
a
gums.
gum.
It's just gums, literally.
You have to hack
She
at
was
it
so
for like
old.
You're
3
just
hours.
tickling the wood.
Yeah, it's guys.
You're letting the wood know that you're very angry at it, but you're not doing anything about
I'm
it
gonna
just
fucking
yet.
kill you, Wood. Yeah, sure you are.
whatever.
Yeah. Oh no, that hurts a lot, man. Yeah.
Stop gumming it. Oh, that doesn't feel good at all.
Is it compelling?
For the viewers at home, I want you to know that I didn't push them in towards this metaphor.
I'm
We
sorry.
just did it.
They found their way there. So anyway,
intelligent.
the highlight of
our
all
own
this
way.
is I'm slowly kind of understanding what all I have access to because I really don't have a budget. Which some of you could be like, oh, that means it's bottomless. No, I just don't have a budget.
Like
So-
there's no dollars.
Like
You have the
I might
opposite of
have,
bottomless.
I might have like $5.
Maybe
your own-
if it's from his own pocket.
My budget is whatever's in my wallet.
Kinda.
Bring your own gear. Bring your own
So
stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
basically, this is after my student has left. So now I'm like, all right, we've been pulling out stuff. I've been assessing what all I have access to. So I'm moving platforms aside, seeing like what I might use, what I'm definitely not going to use. In the midst of this, and this is the only way I can compare it to, because I told my teacher this after this event happened. I'm gonna leave it ambiguous so the story makes more sense.
Okay.
This event happened. My life was flashing above my eyes, just above, not in front, above my eyes.
Which made it really convenient because I had to like look up a
Yeah,
little
I
to
had to
see
look
it.
I looked up and there it was.
I had to focus on it.
But it was like an IMAX. It was just
Yeah,
all
just-
around.
I walked into the classroom,
It's like
which
sitting in the
is
front row at a movie theater.
Yeah.
Just gonna-
I walked
Yeah,
into the
exactly.
classroom basically where my teacher's kind of has already assigned the project. She's now sitting at her desk while the students are all working on it. I come in and I say, "Have you ever seen the movie Hercules?"
Oh no.
And she goes, "Yeah,
Oh,
why?"
I did see this Facebook snap.
Yeah. And I said, "You ever see Hercules?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Do you know the vase guy?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" The guy at the very beginning, he has all the vases and the buildings are flying right towards him, and the last second they all crash right above him. She's like, "Yeah." I said, "That was me 5 seconds ago." And she starts laughing, like very loudly. Like she laughs about, if you've been listening to this podcast for more than 5 seconds, you've heard my laugh. She laughs louder than me. And she's in a classroom full of like busy working students, and they all shut up to hear very loudly. Exactly. Our meters are spiking because of what I just said. Literally, platforms that I have not even seen are now falling, and most of them are landing on this luckily other misplaced platform. And I'm going, oh no, oh no. 1, I'm dead. 2, I'm breaking things. 3, I'm dead. Luckily, this other platform takes most of it, so I get to kind of crawl out of this debris that I have somehow happened. And I'm looking at all this going, how am I still here? And so I spend the last hour of building, not building anything, just fixing what I have somehow happened. And I walk back into the room, still going, and she's like, "You alright?" I'm like, "Yeah. You got to bring a chop saw in tomorrow." And she laughs and she goes, "I'll try and remember."
Which is always what you want to
So,
hear from who is essentially
Kind
your
of.
boss.
So it kind of sounds like at this point, I don't want to teach tomorrow. I want to just keep building. I'm hoping she'll have a chop saw in tomorrow. Otherwise, they'll basically show up and be like, "Well,
What the fuck do you want me to do?
I can guess."
If you
So-
want, I can give you like a steak knife. I mean, if that'll.
Yeah, he has those.
That's gonna be
Failing
perfect.
that, I have a bread knife in my trunk.
We could find you a black belt. He could just kind of.
I would prefer opposed to the butter and steak
I
knife.
feel like those chops may not be as smooth as he needs.
I don't know what.
Only if he sounds like Bruce Lee, where he talks like this, but when he fights, he talks like this. I finally got
Are
to
you
see
planning to have him fight someone for you?
all the platforms that attack me.
Quick, fight the platform!
I'm gonna go into a village and be like, please, sir, I was viciously attacked by wood.
You must avenge me.
And so he did.
The only problem is I can't talk about construction without people naturally going, hold on, there's a metaphor here.
Oh, with the
wood.
with the
I don't get it.
I don't get it, SpongeBob. I don't get it.
It's a penis joke.
It's about the dick.
Yeah.
It's cool though.
Dick
I'm
jokes.
actually the only cool thing is everyone who's been I've been telling about this. They're like, how are you actually going to build said roof for the fiddler to fiddle on? And I just keep on going.
I feel like I
don't know.
I said those
You
exact
did. You
words
did.
to you.
You did. And the whole time I've been going, I'm not sure. Give me an hour. And I literally went in today, and when my kid's helping me figure this out, and I just said, I'm trying to figure this out. And I said, I'm about to do something incredibly stupid. And he goes, what does that mean? I said, if you ever work in a theater, you'll see all your bosses do the stupid things that they'll say, don't do this because I'm more willing to risk my life than yours. And he said, really? I'm like, yep. And so I hopped on top of it, and he goes, you okay? And I'm like, Why? I am on 5 very unsafe structures right now that could collapse at any minute. He's like, you sure? I'm like, how much do you think I weigh? He goes, maybe about this much. I'm like, I'm a bit lighter than that, and I'm nervous. What does that tell you? He goes, got it. So I'm literally up on top of like 3 possibly completely hollow structures that he sees me do this. We're using this one. Why? Because it sounds better than these 2 did.
So, I just want to point out something really stupid I just noticed, but it kind of amuses me.
Okay.
This is probably even too stupid to acknowledge on the air. I should have just waited. But on these Keystone Ice cans, Keystone
What?
Ice, official sponsor,
What? Okay.
Always smooth.
it says on the top of the can, always smooth, wide
Wide
mouth.
mouth?
And it says wide mouth kind of like really close together, like one big word. I guess that is one word.
Like they're talking to a person named
But-
Widemouth.
But I don't know. I saw it.
Hey,
Like,
wide
I
mouth,
saw
what
it
are you
3
doing
or 4
today?
minutes ago,
Taco
and instead
Bell?
of seeing it as wide mouth, I saw wit deep mouth. Like he's always smooth with the mouth.
That's lovely.
Andrew, you're drunk. Go home.
I've had one fucking beer. I'm not
drunk,
kidding.
go
lives
home.
here.
For some reason,
You're drunk. Go home.
I just noticed that, and it
You're drunk, go upstairs.
highly amuses me. So, Mitch, your life is interesting because you teach things.
This is true. Would you like to hear a fun teaching story that I guarantee you've heard before?
No.
Got it.
I haven't heard it. Tell me.
No. Feel free to tell
Tell
it.
me a
No,
story.
wait.
Mitchell.
I want to.
Tell me a story.
I wanted to talk about video games.
You can tell it after this one, because it might relate.
Logically, the next step would be to hand off to Jake so he can plug his thing, and then we can talk about nonsense.
No, video
But
games.
Jake has fallen ill and died in the chair next to me. So
He's
I
dead.
have taken over as host in lieu of that.
He'll be okay.
And I vote we talk about lobsters.
Oh.
Just lobsters.
Just-
I was going to
lobsters.
tell a funny teaching story.
I'm just kidding.
are a terrible host.
Oh God, he's back! He's alive!
I'm sorry. I'm very
Look at our
unprofessional.
meters spiking.
I'm very unprofessional.
It's a
I
second
apologize.
episode miracle.
I'm back. It's okay, everybody. The
There's
podcast is still here. What's up?
So anyway, here's a funny teaching story.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, which is probably most of you listening at home, I am a teaching major. I teach the theater. I love the theater. You going to tink?
Tink.
I was just showing off this.
Tink.
Tink.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So-
the theater.
So being a student teacher, I have to have these every so often meetings where my supervising teacher will just watch me teach a lesson. So prior to this, I was teaching theater tech, and there are 2x4s, which is measures of wood. Ha ha ha. Thank you.
I don't get it.
It's a penis joke.
I still don't get it.
Metaphors comparing wood to the penis,
The
or as
dick.
we call it
No,
in the
so-
medical field, the penis.
God damn it.
Anyway, whenever
They
I
call it a phallus.
Shut up. God.
whenever I was getting irritated with my students, I would always yell, "Look, you better stop that. I'm going to get a 2x4 and come after you." Which they understood as, all right, we get it. We're getting on his nerves. So there was this glorious day. It was my first meeting with my supervising teacher where he basically just sat in and watched my lesson. And prior to this, all of my students knew that he was coming, so they were all warned not to do anything ridiculous. So most of the time that I assign like, construct this, we're going to clean up this, and they talk because, I mean, that's what happens.
Because they're bitches.
Sure. So I was used to kind of a talkative atmosphere. So this is the day where my supervising teacher from the college came down and watches. It's the quietest it's ever been in the theater, and I'm getting really nervous about it because I'm not used to this dead silence in a construction site.
To this incredible obedience.
I shouldn't hear crickets in a construction zone where I should hear ah and stuff. And such.
Is that the
So-
sound that people often make in construction zones?
Most of the time because stuff
If they're
falls
not
on
very
people.
good in the construction
If they're not good, yeah.
zone.
So it's deathly quiet, and all of my kids are coming up to me going, "When is he allowed to talk?" I'm like, I don't think so.
Is he allowed to talk?
And they're just like, "Are we allowed to talk?" I'm like, "Yeah. I mean, you guys are kind of making me uneasy." And they're like, "Well, this guy's kind of freaking us out. Like, look, he's not here. He shouldn't be here much longer." I'm like, okay, fine. And they knew he was grading me. And so finally he comes up to me after like 15 minutes and goes, "All right, sign this. You did a good job. I'll see you in a month." I was like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, you did a great job. They were all doing what you told them to, and good job." I was like, "Okay." So I signed the paperwork and he took off. And literally, as soon as the doors close after he leaves, one of my best students walks up to me and goes, "He better have given you a good review or I'm going to get a 2x4 and come after you." And I heard that, and a single tear went down my eyes and went, "You really do listen to me."
And then I came after him with the 2x4.
Exactly. I chased them to the hill.
The funniest part was I'm telling like my leading professor on campus that story, and she goes, "I don't know if that's a good thing."
It's like the end of like a movie where you inspire some prison kids to like, paint a church or some
It's like
shit.
Stand and Deliver, but with theater.
Dead Poet Society.
Well, like the whole, like I'm telling a couple other like kids in my major that. I'm telling a couple other kids in my major that, and they all go, "Aw," and my professor goes, "Maybe that's not a good thing." I just went, "Well, I don't know. I thought it was,
Obviously, you've never beaten high schoolers with the 2x4.
you know.
It's really fun.
I mean, I do it every Wednesday.
Thank God we're not saying last names on this.
It's probably for the
I
best.
could say yours.
He
and then
could.
what would you do?
He
I could ruin you.
ruin you in your
I
life.
could ruin your identity. Now I'm Mitch. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Now I'm in.
Can't tell the voice difference at all.
Okay, Sparky, it's your
The
turn.
one
Yes,
defining
it is your turn.
characteristic.
Welcome to Truth Mountain. You're at the top of it.
Truth Mountain.
You're holding
Yeah.
the stick.
Okay, so I should preface what I'm about to say with a little personal information. I don't understand why, but I love reading shit that involves hyphenated concepts. For example,
you're gonna have to.
no, I got you.
I
For
love
example,
hyphens.
for example, a god king,
Okay.
Lord of
or,
the God Kings.
or a vampire Cerberus.
Or a punk ass.
That's not hyphenated, actually. That
It's
is
one
only
word.
There's no way punk ass
Only
is
no,
actually
it's
allowed.
one word. Punk ass. It's
I
one
don't
word.
believe you.
Yeah, look it up. It's one word.
Stupid dictionary.
But the point is, combining two concepts is, to me, especially when they're grand concepts, something like a god and a king, where a king assumes the power of a god, essentially.
Right.
Combining the two somehow makes them infinitely more enjoyable. I can't tell you why. I got nothing. All right. It's just something that I feel.
I don't even know how to verify this information.
Just Google punk ass. I don't
Go to
understand.
dictionary.
Well, it's on the Urban
Search
Dictionary, but
your-
would actual punk ass be in the real dictionary?
Maybe I don't
You have to
know.
connect with Punk Ass on Facebook.
Check the real dictionary. Dictionary.com.
It's right there.
No. Here's the
You
problem.
get outta here.
Here's the problem. You're using Bing.
Dictionary.com.
That does explain everything.
Because it gives me Microsoft
Not an
points,
excuse.
and B, because it's good enough for Spider-Man, so it's good enough for me.
We're
not
not
good
sponsored
enough
by
for
Bing.
Punkness.
Don't use
Oh
Bing.
my god.
All right, so
That's like me saying swimming's good enough for jellyfish, so it's good enough for me.
but it's
Swimming's
not,
good enough
though.
for Aquaman.
See, punk ass.
Aquaman.
It's
mean
literally
anything.
in Urban Dictionary as 3 different
Yeah,
variations.
and the primary hit is one word, no
No, no,
hyphen,
no.
no space.
Hold on.
It doesn't mean
Hold on.
anything.
Look
You
it
have
up.
to ask Siri how to spell punk ass.
This is not an iDevice.
I don't
No, no.
care.
I don't
understand.
have
I would
Siri.
prefer-
I have Kindle E.
That's
I wanna
not.
find
No, you
it.
don't.
No, get
And
away.
Chickadee E, the chickadee.
Ah, yes.
This is my tablet.
Okay.
Yes,
So
push him.
anyway, so knowing that, I'm gonna knock over my beer. Knowing that, I had an idea for a story that ideally would take place over 4 or 5 books.
Whose is this?
Novels.
It's like
That's some
3/4 full.
That's not
somebody
mine.
drink it.
That's
Ian,
not
drink
mine.
it.
Ian, drink that?
Ian drink it. Brandon drink it. Mitch drink it. I don't
That's
care.
not mine.
I'll drink it if no one else drinks it.
You gotta go tink.
You gotta go. He wants to tink you. Thank you.
I take it.
All right, tink. Boom.
I'm taking
I'm
the
sorry
beer.
I wasn't a part of it.
So here, Brandon, I got you.
Here,
Boom.
Mitt Brandon.
Chug.
It's mine now, I guess.
Yeah,
So you get this story, you're gonna be so
I got this story, and the way it's told is, for all intents and purposes, out of order. The books are released out of order. You have, like, say 4 or 5 books total. Say 5. Call it 5. You have the first book being released is, say it is the first book. Say chronologically it's the first story in the entire overarching thing. The second book, because the story takes place over about 500 years. Say that one takes place 300 years down the road. You have footnotes in these stories referencing events that have happened and haven't happened yet in the story.
But will happen
But
in
will
later
happen
books.
eventually, yes. Because again, you have the first story, which is set at the beginning, and then the second book is set right around the events of what you would assume would be book 3 or 4. But it's actually book 2. It's self-referential.
Yeah.
The story revolves around
Is this the one that
this study. Yeah.
is fucking cool?
It is cool. It revolves around a discovery made amongst children's leukemia that it's found out develops within specific children with a specific kind of leukemia telekinetic powers. And not even just that. It when they initially discover it, it's just telekinesis, but you come to find out that it's actually they stop aging as well. They hit about 20 years old, and their skin still like tans and it leathers.
And so,
but genetically they don't age.
some leukemia patients are getting superpowers.
Yeah.
while others
Essentially,
are
yes.
Getting leukemia.
And they don't know exactly. Some are just getting leukemia.
It's
Terrible
It's
lie.
life's
Yeah.
greatest coin flip.
Exactly. And they don't know why, but because they don't know why, they're trying to figure out what the difference is between these patients and the other patients who have
Right.
the same thing, who are just dying. And in doing so, they take these children, and it's very under the table. It's really shady because the government doesn't endorse this kind of research because it's very unethical. It's very, like separating these children from the other children as if they're somehow broken or different is very disruptive to a child's psyche.
Right.
So all of these children are taken to these mansions, and they're all over the world. There's like 30, 40 different mansions all over the world. They're taken here, and they give the parents money. There's a few very wealthy benefactors to this research, and they're just funding the shit out of this research because it interests them. So they give these parents just ass loads of money for these children, and it's essentially a boarding school, but permanent. So the parents give up their children. And in these boarding schools, they have the caretakers. The caretakers are actually an organization that developed throughout the book series as a means to protect these children who have these powers because they understand, whereas the doctors and the scientists that they experiment on them, they give them this medication that hurts them, that makes them feel terrible. The caretakers experience interactions with these children when they're at their worst, when they're at their best. They really feel for these kids. And even once they're grown up, they want to protect them. They have this innate desire to make sure these kids live on and live full lives. So the caretakers start out as literally just the caretakers of the mansions and grow ultimately into this entire Masonic organization that's deeply embedded in the world and protects these last few individuals for the next 500, 600 years, for the entirety of the book series. And the story focuses around this kid, and his name is Kennedy. And Kennedy is the first child to take to this medication that brings about these superpowers. He's the first one to take to it so exceedingly well. He doesn't get sick. He doesn't, develop any sort of bad symptoms. His powers increase. He gets stronger with each use. It's much akin to what happened when they first discovered it, which is when they used it on what they call the twins. The twins were the very first instance of these superpowers coming to light. What happened is the twins eventually die. You don't learn that until I think the third book, because the third book is split between.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, sports. This fucking book that has come out. The third book, it's the second or third book, I think. The twins story is told in one of those, alongside what's happening in the quote unquote present day in book world, which is like 300 years in the future. But it's told because what's happening in the present day, again, quote unquote, is the same location and very reminiscent of the shit that happened with the twins. The twins died because they pushed them too hard. They were responding so well to the medication and to the training, essentially, that they pushed them so hard that they just died. Like, their brains just quit. They couldn't take it anymore. They died when they were like 13, 14 years old. But Kennedy is better than the twins. They put Kennedy through the same trials and tribulations, and he excels. He pushes himself further. Right. And the kids normally on this medication, when they develop these superpowers, they die around age 11, age 12 maybe. Kennedy doesn't do that. Kennedy lives past it, and so they segregate him. They take him to a different part of the mansion that he's in, and they leave him by himself because they need to study him further, because he is the first link they have to maybe figuring out why this functions the way it does. But in doing so, they keep him there until he's 16, and he misses his friends. He misses all of the caretakers that he used to have, because he only has one. It's the same woman. And he loves her.
Well, he sounds like a kid, honestly.
Exactly, yeah. He needs companionship, and he doesn't have it. And one day, while this is happening, the public they find out about it. There's a muckraker, a journalist, who brings all of this to light. Like, they find out about these mansions, they find out about these kids, and they're like, this shit is not cool. And so they bring all of it to light. The public fucking riots, like, legit takes to the streets, burning buildings, breaking glass, fucking killing people, because they're not okay with this. And in doing so, the government has to respond. The government responds to the riots by, riot squads, stuff like that, and they respond to the mansions by sending in SWAT teams. They have to stop this from happening. They have to get these kids to safety.
Right.
During one of these, the first raid, essentially, is on Kennedy's mansion. While they're there, Kennedy manages to break out during the assault. And he's like 15, 16 years old at this point, and he's just filled with like teenage angst and just fucking tired of being told what to do and being medicated and all of this shit. It's like something out of like History of Violence. Like, he just loses his shit and just fucking murders everyone. Just fucking, not the caretakers, but the scientists, the doctors, the fucking other kids who are trying to escape. He sees nothing except for the goodness in the caretakers and his freedom. That's all he knows. And in doing so, he escapes. He leaves the caretakers again, but he escapes. And it's the first time he's ever been out of this mansion that he can remember, because he went in there when he was like 5. And he's 16 now. And he tries, he's had TV, albeit monitored TV. So he knows a little bit about the world, but nothing newsworthy, nothing, exceptional, very mundane, very sheltered. And he knows that he can, for the most part, trust people. He's very optimistic. So he starts to hitchhike, which is something that he saw on TV. He saw people hitchhiking. He hitchhikes with a trucker who inevitably ends up trying to rape him, which just, because everything bad has to happen.
Oh, those truckers.
Oh, those truckers.
Dark there.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the fact that he was murdering 12-year-olds wasn't
But
dark
then
at
they
all.
tried to, the R word.
The R word, God forbid rape. But that really shuts him off from people.
Right.
He fucking, like,
The R
that.
word?
He understands he doesn't want it. And it almost happens and he manages to get away. He kills the trucker with his
Right, yeah.
crazy mind powers. What's up?
Is it like Akira?
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 I've actually never seen Akira.
I haven't either. I've been meaning to.
Because like young kids with superpowers, they like kill people with their mind. That makes me think Akira.
Well, I mean, the telekinesis thing is a tried and true.
You
But
mentioned
like it's
killing
like-
with your mind.
yeah.
Did you ever see a rubber?
Yeah.
Would you picture like that?
No.
Like killing with your mind?
No.
Like, I'm not talking ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
head blows up,
Make them
literally.
No,
explode.
it's less
Or
heads-
more like it looks like they passed out.
It's less head blowing up and more like bleeding from the eyes, the ears,
Oh, cool.
the mouth.
Okay, got it.
Like,
All right.
like their
they-
brain is like
Yeah, like
Got it.
literally they're taking pressure from their telekinesis and
Got it.
squishing the brain.
That's All right,
cool.
thank you.
And like the internal organs.
that's cool.
Um, So, the entire book series is like that. It's very violent. It's very down to earth. There's no like epic shit like he's lifting buildings and dropping them on people. It's very much like Max Landis' Death of Superman.
Yeah.
Whenever he's describing the fight, it's very much
Right.
just,
It's very much just.
this is a person who's
Yeah.
very strong, beating the shit out of somebody.
and it looks like it hurts.
Exactly.
Got it. All right.
But
What are we at?
I don't know what that is.
51.
Anyway, but he almost gets raped by this trucker, and then he moves onward. He decides to seclude himself. He knows enough from the caretakers who have tried to give them the fundamental basics of surviving, in case, just in case. They've tried to teach them under the table, like, this is how to make fire. This is how to, these are what you're eating from the animals.
Right.
Don't
And
eat
also,
this.
they have access to books also, So he lives and he goes north. He goes north to the only place he's ever heard of, the only other country he's ever heard of, and it's just because it's in such close proximity to the United States. It's Canada.
Canada.
Oh,
Exactly. He goes to Canada and he sneaks across the border, and he finds
We up in
refuge.
Wisconsin called Canada.
Canada.
We've done that by accident. Me and my relatives up north, we're like, yeah, we don't sound much like Canadians, Canada. Wait, what?
Canada. I've heard that actually.
Yeah, no. We call it that.
I'm from Wisconsin.
By
Canada.
accident.
I've heard that.
No, it's like I'm not just being like, oh, it'd be funny.
That's a
Yeah.
thing.
That's actually a
Just
thing.
happened.
The country Canada.
Um, so he goes to Canada, I guess.
Canada. Yeah.
We also
he
go
goes up there
coyotes.
and
Coyotes.
he hits the
best
vast
ones.
wilderness, like the vast northern wilderness, and it's cold, and somehow he manages to survive. He builds a shelter. He gets some food. It kind of turns into Hatchet at that point, where it's this one boy who's trying to survive, and
Disgusting
he manages to. His will to survive is greater than nature's will to kill him.
Is this book 2 still?
This is still book 1.
Book
How
actually.
long?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity,
Shit.
how long are these books? Are you thinking?
Mm,
I know it.
Probably no longer. Than,
I know it always comes down to however long it needs to be. But
Yeah. In my mind, it's no longer than maybe like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets.
So like 3
Roughly.
to 4.
400 pages.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those are
About it.
about 300.
I was just curious.
or
'cause it
somewhere
sounds
between
like-
those and Prisoner.
I don't know
of
how many events you're planning on stuffing
Exactly,
into some
yeah.
of these books.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And I have it all mapped out. I have literally
Oh,
like
sure,
a
like-
notebook and a half.
Because like
full
you've
of-
read my comic books
Exactly,
coming
yeah.
up, too. Yeah, like there are all these
Um,
events that you want to stuff into it, but
Yeah, and if I have my way, it'll all be in there. But anyway,
Sure.
he's surviving in the wilderness, and he feels what
much
to
did that
him. Ian,
sorry to break apart. How much did that
You're
cost
wrong.
you?
This?
Yeah.
Did you buy that
I
tonight?
have no idea.
Okay.
I don't remember. So while he's in the wilderness by himself, he's finally built himself what he feels is a home. He finally feels safe.
Actual pirate.
Like Blue Lagoon, but without the hot, woman.
Hot sisters.
That's
Kind of
fair.
one guy.
I only buy alcohol
Kennedy-
with hot women.
Kennedy finally feels safe in this shack, essentially, that he's built. It's very ramshackle. It's very run down.
So it
but
tastes like pirate.
It's a lean-
Every once in a while, he has to go to civilization because there's some shit that he can't get. Like he needs
Right.
Toilet
he needs-
Porn.
Yeah, porn. Yeah, okay.
There's no porn in this shack.
He has to go to the equivalent of like a trading post, a convenience store, stuff like that.
Porn.
And he makes these like
Just
not
use
bi-monthly,
your
but
imagination.
every 2 or 3 months he makes these treks to this nearby.
Sure.
It's actually like 10, 15 miles away. This store.
That can be nearby.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
nearby. That's like 6 hours or something.
Roughly.
Yeah.
It's like a day's trip
Yeah.
there and back. But he
But
goes
in
to the
Wyoming,
store
we're
and
about 30 miles away from anything. Yeah.
one day, shortly before his trip
was
to the store, he feels what he thinks is an
Other than a
earthquake.
horror movie.
Right.
Horror movie incident.
He feels what he thinks is an earthquake, and he thinks nothing of it. He's like, you know what? I don't know how that works. I don't know what it is, and I know what an earthquake is, and that's probably what it was. And he, a few days later, he goes to this store, and he's talking to people, and they have a TV in there, and he's watching, and he's listening to people talking, and the world has broken out in just nuclear war over these mansions, these children that have died and just been experimented on with no type of ethics, just like ripped open, just surgically everything. People are not okay with it. Every country's involved in this, like every major superpower, and it's not okay. Like shit has gone wrong, and he finds out that there's nothing. Like everything's gone. Everyone has attacked everybody. It's a nuclear winter at this point. Everything is dead, and it's kind of like Empire Strikes Back at that point with book 1 because it ends on such a down note. Like he's going back to his home and he doesn't know what he's going to do because he never had a plan past this. He has his home, he has his life, he doesn't know what to do. Which gives way to the second book, which I'm not going to go into, but it takes place about 100 years after that.
So is he dead?
No, he's alive.
Okay.
He's alive. There are
Because
people-
you've mentioned like 100, like you don't go like 2 or 3 years. You go like within your triple digits.
Exactly, and remember, like
So-
what I said, though, Kennedy stays alive because Kennedy is one of the kids who develop these superpowers. They don't
Okay.
age.
Okay.
Like it's not even that they don't die; they can still get hurt. They're not immortal. They
Sure.
can still be hospitalized, but they don't die.
Got it. So they won't die by age, but they can still die by like other means.
Not necessarily. Like if they get their
That's
head
fine.
chopped off, their body will live.
Thank you, Andrew.
In two,
I didn't understand.
in
until now.
2 separate parts, their body will live, lest it be reattached.
Okay.
Put one, in like a sturdy locker. Drop it at the bottom of the ocean.
And
That's how you kill Wolverine.
sturdy locker.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you kill Wolverine. Never let his bodies
Throw him into the sun.
Throw him into the sun.
But yeah, the reason I
Kill. Yeah, everything.
Superman, even maybe.
a brief teaser for the second book would be that
Maybe.
it's told
Maybe.
rather than from the point
There
of
have
view of
been
Kennedy.
ones where he's lived. There have been ones where he's died.
I read
But
some.
a different
The
character.
further into the
It's-
sun you throw him, the more powerful he gets.
I read some.
Yeah, but like book 2 would be from a different
Superman smash.
book 2. Each book is like a genre piece.
Uh-huh.
So the first book is very sci-fi. It's very
It's like the
Yeah.
sci-fi
Meadow
survival.
trilogy.
Well, you got to
Exactly.
set up your.
Yeah, exactly.
Good premise, yeah.
So everything in it is very much about survival. It's very much about like this sci-fi sort of stuff.
Right, yeah.
The second book is very much a horror book. It's
Oh, okay.
told not from Kennedy's point of view, but from another child's
Actually,
point of view,
probably
100 years in the future.
You ruined
in
it.
this
Oh, cool.
small community where Kennedy has taken up residence,
Mm-hmm.
unbeknownst to these children, and shit is going wrong in the
Mm-hmm.
town. Things are exploding. Things are, things are falling down that shouldn't be falling down. There's
Right.
these very minor but very serious events, like a mine collapses, for example.
Now, I am curious, though, because I've discovered this in writing comics. I know you have it all mapped out, but when you say books, are you yourself going to be able to be like, one day you're writing all this, and then you go, I've been planning this, can it happen now?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Well, like, for example, I've been... again, plug-in. I've started writing a comic idea I've had for about a year.
It's a really good segue.
It's all mapped out in my mindset. But a lot of the in-between stuff hasn't been. So when I started writing it, I started going, okay, all of these natural ideas started coming to mind, so I wrote them down. Now it makes me go, can I get to that conclusion that I wanted to?
You gotta find a way to fill the gap.
That's,
right, yeah.
That's exactly what this podcast is for.
Okay.
You literally hit the nail on the head of why
Right.
this-
I'm just saying, if in your books, because you had your moments where you're like, all right, the first book happens, second book's going to be like 100 years in the future, third book's going to be like 300 years in the past. If it's going to be like in that kind of order.
No, it'll be...
I'm just saying, could you finish your first book and be like, now I have to forget about a lot of this, going to my second book? That's my biggest,
Exactly. No, and that's a lot of the why I mapped out as
Okay.
much as I
Okay.
possibly could in that notebook, because
I'm saying once you start writing this stuff down, it takes a tremendous effort to go, I love this character that I made. I now have to forget about him.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But the joy I find in doing it as a writer is that you can forget about the character, but you can drop hints.
Right.
Because that's really what, like, the technical side of writing this book series would be.
Sure.
Would be dropping these hints along the way, so that people, when they're reading book 4, and it takes place 200 years before book 3.
They get it.
They see something, like, say there's a location that's all run down, ramshackle in book 3, but they're reading book 4 and it's bright and shiny and new, and there's these new things happening. Like, this is that fucking event. For example, book 3 introduces the rain.
Spoiler!
Yeah, fucking whatever. Book 3 is the rain, which is very much. You remember Caesar's Legion in Fallout New Vegas?
Yes.
It's very much like that. A guy uses the story of Kennedy's story,
Right.
and says that he is Kennedy and he can perform these miracles. Really, ultimately, he's just Mysterio, like the.
Oh, cool. Okay,
he's just really good at special effects. But he poses as this
The
Messiah
guy.
figure,
Right, yeah.
and he creates this
Like
empire.
Most do, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Kennedy finds out about this about halfway through the book. That's when he shows up, because he's not in the book until that point.
Okay.
The book is told until that point from this guy's point of view. And actually, the entire thing is told from this guy's point of view.
From the fake.
Yeah, from the fake.
Cool. I like that.
Kennedy finds out, and Kennedy plays the antagonist in that book, because the entire book, you're seeing it from his point of view. This guy had, when he was growing up, his parents were shit. He really just wants to feel like he's needed in this world, and so he develops this persona from this person he believes is dead, because there's no record of Kennedy surviving.
Right. Because the whole...
Yeah, exactly. So
What
he takes up this mantle, and he feels that he's doing good to these people. He feels like he's bringing hope and joy into these people's lives in a world that's very desolate, very run down. And Kennedy shows up and he's like, dude, what are you doing? And he brings to light the horrible things that are happening in this guy's brain. And he's like, well, I don't give a shit. That doesn't affect me. I'm ultimately trying to make myself feel good. And that is the conflict in that story.
Sure.
But the rain is actually very prevalent after book 3. It pretty much runs through 4 and 5. But yeah, that's my shit.
Nice.
We can talk about your comic book now.
Segue.
I'm fine. I'm going to save that for later.
I will say that
I've shown you
Tangent.
what I have worked on. I want to work more on it before I...
Before you deal with it. Okay.
well, because something you guys were talking about, kind of having your end game in mind.
I didn't know about that, though. That's, I'm
Yeah.
curious about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Having your end game in mind, it's kind of a good thing to have.
It works both ways.
From what I've seen, there are mad geniuses who've gone one way and gone the other way. Like J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, is the most famous example. She said like a dozen times, she's like, "Oh yeah, I started writing the book and I knew exactly where it was going the whole time."
Right. Yeah.
On the other side of the coin, the modern masterpiece that is Breaking Bad, Vince
Oh,
Gilligan
shit.
hasn't known where the fuck his show is going since the end of season 1. The most he ever planned anything out was the big event at the end of season 2.
Right.
He knew where that was going. Since
Now, I love that conversation, though.
Yeah,
Because he
but-
said, me and the writers got in a room, we decided everything that was going to happen. And then after that, he said, we're not doing that again. It worked awesome. It was too damn exhausting.
Yeah, and because I've been listening to the Insider podcast they do since about near the end of season 3, and what he's just been talking about over and over and over again was how they basically keep setting themselves up with this just crazy ass idea, and they're like, all right, how do we use that idea going forward? We've got or like. In this newest season, I'm not going to ruin anything because Breaking Bad, unlike Dexter, deserves to be
Untainted.
untainted forever.
I agree.
But in the newest season of Breaking Bad, there's been a couple of moments where they've flashed forward in time
Yes,
and
it looks
set
awesome.
up this
Episode 1.
big end game. But Gilligan has said so many times, we had that idea in the writer's room with no fucking idea how we were going to get there. We gave ourselves an end goal with absolutely no idea
Nice.
where the
But see-
road to that end goal is.
Nice.
That says to me, like, that's what defines a writer. Because every time I talk about a good writer, it's always about how they can write themselves into a corner with no idea how they're going to get out of it and ultimately get themselves out of it. I'm not a good writer. I'm a mediocre writer.
Well, yeah, and see,
Vince Gilligan is fucking phenomenal at what he does.
Vince Gilligan and all of the Breaking Bad writers, they stress a lot that it's that writer's room in general that helps make those ideas happen. But yeah, I mean, I can absolutely see why it's not for everyone. I think a lot of people would just like to have the entire roadmap out there and be like, I can fill in the details, but I know the workings of this plot front to back right now. Whereas, I guess he and his team are the kind of people who like to back themselves into a corner and hash out every single detail on how to get out of that corner and how to do it most effectively.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess it's kind of a pick your poison kind of thing, whichever works, but, I mean, I just thought I'd chip in with that because I've been hearing a lot about that.
sure, yeah,
Sure,
I agree,
sure.
because I've been curious about how they're going to get up to that point.
Well, and frankly, I think it's amazing because I'd never considered that technique until Breaking Bad.
Right.
I always kind of assumed every genius piece of anything I've seen is something
They
they
always
kind
knew
of
exactly
had fleshed
where
out
they
ahead
were
of time,
going.
and it just blew my mind when I started hearing about him, who's arguably this is the greatest TV show I've ever watched.
It's
And
pretty good.
It seems to have the
Yeah.
most
Damn good.
absolutely coherent and stable plot with very very fine attention to detail. And just like to hear that they basically just fucking wing it it's just amazing. I mean, they pay very close attention to detail, which helps. But they basically just start writing this shit out and just follow the story. And that's phenomenal to me. I don't know how they would do it. That would drive me insane, I think.
I don't
We
blame
should talk about that next time. We should talk about writing styles because I feel that
I'd love that
Definitely.
actually
For
because
almost
it
every
kind of sounds like all of us in a
literally
way are at
everyone
least
at the
writing
table.
something.
Writing styles? What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Like how do you write?
planning?
How do you
Literally,
write?
literally,
Planning.
like going at.
Yeah, I guess the
writing
better
story.
term would be writing methodology.
Okay, yeah, I can
as
talk
opposed
about
to
And I mean, I don't write.
sure.
I don't write fiction. You guys write fiction. I do.
Yeah,
But either way, I think
it's a
they're
very-
they're very comparable
That's right.
ideas.
Famously, Andrew has, at least famously for me, his go-to quote is, "There's a reason I took a major that literally has the word non-fiction in it."
Nice.
Yeah, I'm one of the least creative individuals alive. I don't have brilliant ideas, so I write about what is already there. I can't create. I'm really bad at that. I don't know how great of a filmmaker I'm going to be if I pursue that, but we'll find out, I guess.
We have been going a little bit shorter than our last one, but that's okay. I think we're all kind of winding down here.
Seems like it's
getting
good.
which
kinda
is
late.
fine.
Sure.
That's a good time. Next time,
I'd love that for the next episode though. For
Yeah, we
writing
should talk
styles.
about that.
we'll maybe talk about writing methodologies. We'll hit comic books a little bit. I know Andrew wanted to do that.
I'd love to.
Ian wants
Mitch-
to do some video games.
Ian wants to do some
Also.
video game stuff. We will hit that. Thank you again for listening. This is episode 2 of Work in Progress. As always, you have me, Jake,
Andrew.
Ian.
Brandon.
Mitch, and we love you all. We thank you
you.
for listening very,
Yes, thank
very,
you.
very much.
Thank you.
We will see you next time on episode.
On the flip side.
And
All right.
Next time on the flip side.
Later, please.
really, please again.
Wait.